Yes, it's Torsten?
Yeah, excellent. Am I pronouncing your name correctly when I say Jin?
Yes, you got it 100%.
Awesome. What nationality is that?
Chinese.
Oh, very cool. Were you born in the United States or were you born overseas?
No, I was born in China. I moved to the United States when I was 10 years old.
Cool.
I spent most of my time in Northern California.
Fantastic. And you're in the Marine Corps, right?
I'm in the Marine Corps, correct.
I salute you. I was in the South African Army for 2 years. It was an interesting time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, cool. So, and you're in which city right now?
I live in Oceanside, but I Uber like 90% of the time in San Diego.
Perfect. Yeah, actually that's a good area around Oceanside, like with Carlsbad and all those little cities on the way down to San Diego. I'm sure you've picked up a lot of people along the way there.
I have. It doesn't have enough population for the rideshare business, so that's
Yes.
why I go down to San Diego.
Right.
Day.
Cool. And then you drive what? UberX or?
UberX, yes. That's one of the questions I have. I'm trying to get more information about Select and SUV.
Okay.
Because I always hear you say, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
I think I'm working very hard, but
Okay.
it's just not really making the money I'm thinking.
Yeah. Okay. But you see there, I mean, you have a very high rating, right? You have like 4.9 or 4.91, right?
Correct.
So
I
you.
can't seem to break that though. For some reason, I can't seem to make it higher than 4.91.
I know it's strange. I try to go high as well. I'm always stuck on 4.95. I try so hard to get to 4.96, but for some reason, nothing moves. But I mean, you're in the top 3 to 5% of the drivers in your area, and I mean that's very.
4.91 is a big difference to 4.95 though. Like,
All it takes is a few bad ratings, and I'd easily be down to 4.91. But the bottom line is, I just think anything from 4.9 to 5 is just, you're in the top 3 to 5%. You know what I mean?
yeah, I do. I take like the videos to heart when it comes to customer service.
Yes.
For the riders.
That's great. Fantastic. I mean, I've seen so many people with a very casual attitude, and I've spoken to them, and then 3 or 4 months later they disconnected, and I said, you always had the chance to improve, and then they said, well, I don't really. They would literally tell me they don't care about ratings. I said, that those words might come back and bite you. And I mean, I get I get anywhere from, I'd say, 50 to 120 emails or texts per day. And then, I'd say 80% of the people really pay attention to their ratings. And then there's a big crowd, sadly, just UberX that doesn't really care about the ratings. But, it shows sooner or later when they're 4.5, 4.6, and they're disconnected,
I never thought the rating would be so important until people start canceling your rides.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
I take my personal rating to heart, and I think that's like the number one thing that really drives me, more than the pay itself, because I'm providing that good customer service.
Exactly. So, for how long have you been driving UberX then?
3 months now. I started in August 3rd.
Okay, I mean you have a lot of trips already for Uber, and you do Lyft as well, right?
I do Lyft as well. Lyft, I'm only on Lyft about 3 weeks now.
Okay, and how many trips have you done on Lyft?
180.
Well, that's very impressive. And how many do you have on Uber?
770.
Wow, that's very impressive. You fitted a lot of trips in there. But I'm sure you will agree you're getting to a point where like it's becoming a little bit too monotonous, right? And you feel like
It is. Like, I'm working harder
Yeah.
and smarter, but lately I've been trying to working a little bit smarter.
Okay.
Like being a little bit more patient and timing it.
Okay.
But that's why I'm thinking to see if it's worth it for me to go into X or SUV or black.
Okay. So the one good thing is I think that the San Diego market is still open to SUV. I know they shut it down in Orange County and in Los Angeles and Sacramento and San Francisco, which means they haven't shut it down completely. It's just that they're not taking applications because it's fairly saturated. So that is a sign, you know, I mean, they're still taking X and Select, but that's a sign that a lot of drivers have tried to get into that category. Obviously, you really make good money there, right? Now, your one advantage down there is, let's say you were in black or SUV, and I'm sure you switch on in Oceanside, correct? You switch it on, and you start
For the most part, I do switch it on because when I try to go down San Diego, it doesn't work out sometimes because it will take me backwards.
Yes.
The opposite direction. So I turn it on a little bit south of Carlsbad.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, the other way would be all the military area, and then after that's Orange County, correct?
Correct.
But I mean, surely it must have taken you up to John Wayne and maybe even once up to LAX? Hardly. Okay.
On the weekends I go out just to change it up from the everyday in San Diego County. So
okay.
I do spend some time out there in Orange County, and then last weekend was a pretty good weekend in LA, and there's just so much potential out there. But for me, from where I'm at to drive to LA, like almost 100 miles. Okay.
I got to share with you, you know, I drive in two separate, three categories actually, black and SUV. And then, and sometimes if I'm stuck in an area which is not very black SUV friendly, I will force in XL. There's a specific way to force in a category, you know, which I mean, I've been accepted for XL, but I don't leave it on because when you're driving around in a Suburban, hopefully you're getting black or SUV trips. If you need to get out of an area, you just switch on XL. You will not wait more than 5 minutes, and the XL trip will take you to a completely different location. At least you're earning money. There's no downtime, right? But the luxury division is that's just a whole different animal. I mean, it's a whole different category, which really I don't think really took off properly. But when I drove, the few times I drove down to San Diego, I had clients that needed to get down to San Diego, and those were great trips. From LA to San Diego, it was $655 on average, $650. Okay.
And those people actually pay that much money.
They are people and business people that pay that money, and there's a lot of business people that pay LA to Orange County, a lot. You know, that's anywhere between, you know, that's anywhere.
I'm trying to pick your brains.
Yeah.
I got a quick question for you. For driving black, you got to have a TCP license.
Correct. Yeah.
From one of your videos.
Yes. Okay. So the commercial license, I actually made a video. The guy that I do my commercial license with, a lot of people have gone to him, and they've been well taken care of just because the rates are good, right? And I have multiple cars, so each time I just add a car, it just only goes up marginally, just a little bit, right? You obviously need those two things covered, is the commercial and then the TL. TLP, TLC. Sorry, I've got a little brain freeze there. Those are requirements for black and SUV. I had very, very good experiences in black and SUV. Once I was down in San Diego, I thought, you know what, maybe the trip will take me back up, or maybe towards Orange County. At least I was very, very busy for the day in San Diego with SUV and black. Very busy. Okay.
I see a lot of potential in there. Thing is, since I'm still in the Marine Corps, right? So I work full-time in the Marines.
Yes.
And then I kind of do part-time for Uber and Lyft.
Okay.
But the hours I put in is more than 40 hours a week for driving. Between the 7 days.
Okay. Quite a lot.
I don't know if it's going to be practical for me to go into, the SUV or that. That's one of the questions that I have for you.
Well, you mean if you're dedicating 40 hours, let's say you were able to dedicate 40 hours to X, and you're asking me if that would be lucrative to be in SUV black 40 hours, the same equivalent?
Correct, and I can only drive nighttime, right? I can only drive nighttime Monday to Friday.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday I could drive all day, but it's certain enough business for that category. That's the thing.
Now, listen, if you put the money down, you know, to purchase a Suburban, let's say. I buy them on the auctions, by the way. I pick them up for a fraction of the cost, right? I buy my Suburbans for $20,000 to $25,000 cash. That same car would probably be 35,000 just through some dealership. Of course, then you get the new one. A brand new one would be in the 50 range, right? Like the LT Suburban. Now, if you were leasing it, I would say it's probably not a good idea based on the 40 hours. If you put a down payment and you purchased it, right? And you're paying the car off, and then you own that car. You know, you're building equity, and you're riding and you depreciating the car through your tax write-off. The 40 hours is good. It's great, especially around areas like La Jolla. You know, as you're driving down, I remember picking up people in Solana Beach a few times, just, you know, in the high-end areas. What's the other one? Carlsbad, Del Mar. There's some rich areas, you know, some good hotels.
A lot of rich area along the coast.
Exactly. And that's really where you pick these type of guys up, right? And, you know, they will go out in a group to dinner, to business meetings, or catch trips that take them out at night, flights, sometimes very late flights. So I would really argue, if you were to print your business cards with, you know, with a picture of your face, a picture of your car. I don't know if you need, I'll send you a copy of mine. I'll send you the front and back. But I hand out business cards all the time, and I always say to the guys, if you need a longer trip that goes over $80, you know, I will give you 10 to 20% back cash, and I always carry cash on me. So most of my trips that I've promoted in Calabasas, Thousand Oaks areas, those areas are probably familiar to you. You've probably heard them, right? I drive all the way through to LAX. Those are consistently $120 to $160 trips, okay? They take anywhere from 1 hour to 1 hour 20 minutes. And I will always give these guys $20 back, or I'll charge them the regular price. You know, they tell me to be there at 6 a.m. I'm there at 6. They switch on the phone. I switch on the phone. They put it through. Uber doesn't lose out. And then all my repeat clients, I have about 50 of them that I've built up over 2.5 to 3 years. You know, I know what they want. So I'll get them the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, either Pete's Coffee, Coffee Bean, or Starbucks. I know what all my top clients want. And they book me again and again, because I spend a little bit of money spoiling them. But now they can do their business in the car. They're on their laptop, they're on their phone, they have the New York Times, they have their coffee. And it's easy for me. I got it down like a science, you know, I know, okay, that's where I pick him up 5 minutes before closest coffee shop, you know, pick it up. Even if it's 15 minutes away, I'll keep it in the warmer, and then, you know, I deliver them a hot coffee. But man, do they love that, eh? They love it.
Oh man, you're doing like a totally different level of customer service to these riders. Yeah, and then on my luxury, I have a Bentley, but I just do Oscars, Emmys, Grammys, and, you know, and they I mean, I literally have a lot of the who's who, you know, in the zoo. I mean, I drive Channing Tatum, I drive Dwayne Wade every time he's in town, the Guns N' Roses very often. So I got really, Dr. Phil, I mean, I got really good clients, repeat clients. I've driven Drake several times. But, you know, that's a whole different animal. And again, I ask them if there's anything specific they want, I will have it in the car, you know, and they love that. Like, so the one guy, he travels with his little kid a lot, so I have baby wipes on board. I have the booster seat. I went out and bought a booster seat. I mean, I put, you know, I want that client I don't want them to switch, right? I want that client. But SUV, if you ever thinking of committing to that, like Select is easy. Select, there is a clientele that just doesn't want to do X. They want a little bit of better comfort. So you come in there with an Audi or a BMW 3 Series or whatever the case may be, and they're paying a premium, right, to drive a little bit more, call it luxurious, right? It's not
You know, it's not your Lux Range Rover, it's not your Suburban or Escalade SUV. It's like a little bit of a more sporty sedan type of car.
Correct.
And there is a market for that. Of course, there's a market everywhere for that. It's just X is generally people that are really trying to save money and drive economy, you know. So it's truly a hit and miss who you have in your X, right?
Yeah. Okay. So another thing, right? So I bought the car. I drive a GMC Canyon, which is a mid-sized pickup truck.
Okay.
Before I bought this, I didn't think about doing Uber or Lyft. So after I bought the car, you know, I kind of stuck with it because I wanted a truck.
Okay.
Without thinking about driving it. So I'm thinking, is it even worth it, you know, to change it to like an SUV, like a black SUV, and I work my way up? That's my question.
You mean trade that car in for an SUV or keep that car?
Yeah, trade that truck in, trade my truck in. People love my truck because they say, man, I check Uber all the time.
Yeah.
This is my first time riding in a truck.
Right, but it's costing you a lot on gas, right?
I get 24 miles per gallon.
Oh, you do? Okay, that's impressive. Yeah, that's good. You know that.
So I'm okay on that part.
Okay. You know, I mean, honestly, if you are a little patient and you're willing to build out your business, look, I'll meet with you anyway. I'll spend an hour with anyone. Okay, so if I can just show you what the possibilities are, I think you would do very good. I mean, not only do I think, I know you will do very good because you're a 4.91 driver, right? And look, here's the thing. It would literally take one trip. You know, you could be $100 or $150 trip, right? That happens and you know, you're sort of smiling because that one trip is literally more than you'd maybe make in an entire day on you know, driving around.
Absolutely, that's very true.
You know, so like if I drive into Calabasas, I sit there for 30 minutes, and even if it's $90 just to Hollywood or something like that, I mean, that is $90. I remember how many trips I had to do with UberX to get $90, right?
5 hours of work. 5 to 6 hours of work.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, and then if you once you figure out the areas and the good areas where to be, you know, sometimes you let's say you take the client to the airport, you switch off and you shoot back to the good area. I mean, you shoot back to, let's say, Bel Air or Beverly Hills, right? For example. Now you'd shoot back to La Jolla, for example. You drop them off at San Diego Airport, boom, you're straight back in La Jolla. You know, you switch off, you go all the way back to La Jolla because you want to catch another guy and then all the way back in again because you know that they're pretty much going to go to the airport, especially... Oh, you don't do the morning shift, right? You do the evening shift, right?
I do the morning shift on Saturday, so
yeah.
Friday and Saturday are my 2 awesome days.
Okay.
For X.
Yes.
So I start Friday nights and I'll take it all the way. I'm working very hard, right?
Yeah.
Take it all the way past like 3:30, the last bit of the drunk people.
Yeah.
And I'll switch it off. I'll take a quick nap. I'll turn it back on at 4:30, about 5 o'clock, right at Pacific Beach, about 10 miles from the airport. And I'm constantly getting rides from there for that morning portion.
Yeah. Oh, no, I mean,
and that's what I do for Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, you put, yeah, I can see how committed you are. You're putting in some serious hours there, you know, and
I'm listening to you. I'm trying to learn the little ins and outs. I don't mind working. I consider myself a pretty hard worker. I was able to pull $1,000 between Lyft and Uber just last 7 days.
Listen, some of my good friends are Chinese. They're the hardest workers I've ever come across. You know, they're hardcore. They just work and put in the hours. So I honestly think if you go out there, do it the way you're doing it right now in a different vehicle, you will do extremely well. You know, it's just be a little patient and take 2 weeks to figure out. Take about 2 weeks to figure out, you know, how the whole black SUV class works. Do you know what I mean? And
let
then
me ask you, if you don't mind, how much do you have to pay for the TCP, the commercial license?
I will get you the numbers on that, and my partner Michael handles that, because I mean we have 17 vehicles. I can get you the information on the commercial license and on the TCP. It's not bad. It's nothing crazy. I'd almost want to say it's about, gosh, I almost want to say it's about maybe 1,000 a year or so, or 900 a year.
Okay.
I mean, it's like an upfront fee that covers you for 12 months. Maybe it's reduced if you have multiple vehicles. I'm not sure, but I can get that number for you. And you just do that through the website. I mean, it's not a complicated procedure at all. It really isn't.
Yeah, I'm just trying to crunch in the number to see how much I got to come out of the pocket before I move into the next category. Because one, I got to trade in my vehicle. Two, I got to get that TCP license.
Okay. Now, can I ask you something? Do you speak Chinese Mandarin?
I speak Chinese and Mandarin.
Okay, so right there, you have a huge advantage, and I'll tell you why. Because if you were to go out and do some videos, right? If I show you what I make referrals with Uber and Lyft, if I show you the numbers, right, you'll get dizzy. It's driving, you can never reach the numbers that you're making with referrals. If you become an ambassador for San Diego, you already have all the ins and outs, all the knowledge on X, and then you're suddenly sharing all the knowledge with SUV or Black. And you're showing, hey, this is how to handle the airport, this is how to handle the gas lamp district, this is how to handle the beaches, and you start putting in videos in English and Chinese, right? You then attract that following that see you as like that ambassador role model for that city, and they sign up under you. And there is nothing better, seeing those referrals coming in like daily. I mean, I have them coming in every single day, right? So, on the very, very bottom, a bad week, and I don't share the maximum numbers, but on a very bad week, I'll have about $2,500 coming through on referrals. Okay, that's on the bottom. That's on the bottom end. That's Uber. That's not what I make on Lyft. That's just Uber. So if you really go out there, I have not seen anyone brand themselves in San Diego. Okay, and all you really have to do, and I've taught this formula to many people in Atlanta, Washington, New York, go out and talk about your city, share the knowledge, because you are not hurting your business. You actually, believe it, word of mouth. When they know that you're the go-to guy, they then go to you and sign up under you, and then they bring their other family members. I've had one guy sign up and then bring 3 other members of his family to my code, right? Because if you spend
that referral program you're talking about.
Yeah, and I mean you have such an advantage. I mean, look how many Chinese or Asian people are in California. It's a huge population. There's a lot of I've helped Japanese, Koreans, Chinese. I mean, a lot of people. I speak English to them, of course, but let's say they had someone they could talk to directly. You have such an advantage funneling people. Even in the writing, if you program your title, your description in Chinese, and your link is your link. I mean, it's a HTTP link, right? It goes through to your page, referral page. But if you put your keywords in Chinese, etc., you just have such an advantage over all the other guys promoting. That's one way I would look at this. I mean, I would highly recommend just firing up that engine and start making UberX videos with your car. Hey, and you got a laptop in your car, right? And you film yourself. Hey, this is Jen, and I'm sitting down here in La Jolla. Let me tell you a couple of great tips about La Jolla, right? Bam. This is how I handle the San Diego airport, and you're driving in. Can you guys see over there? That's a great spot. That's where you want to park. Now what you want to make sure is as you get out, you jump out first, line up the luggage, boom. So look at my video channel. I have 1,100 videos in my one channel. I have 300 videos in another channel, right?
Yes.
Which is excessive, but I just try and cover everything, even if the topic is I just try and cover anything that has come up, right? Or feedback from others.
That's crazy.
So start copying that formula, and then also you just have this language advantage. and capitalize, just bring them into your referral. San Diego referral pays out $550. More than LA, more than Los Angeles, $550.
Correct.
Yeah. So you get in one of those per week, just even one. That's totally achievable if you follow my formula. You know, it's another $2,200 a month. That has paid for your car 3 times, you know. So, I mean, just throwing that out there. I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just putting it out there. I'm telling you what's possible. It's totally possible.
Let me ask you, do you have a lot of Asian riding like Uber Black?
Tons. Absolutely.
Tons?
Oh yeah, in LA, I tell you who drives. It's the guys who can only really drive, you know, at nighttime. And, you know, I hate to say it, but it's like culturally there's just a few people that are able to do this, right? I mean, South African guys are hardcore. I am. Chinese guys, they got it down. Armenians, Russians, these are the guys in the black SUV field. The other guys are just, I'm sorry, they're just a little bit too lazy. And I'm not putting any nationality down when I'm saying that, right? It's just that it's just like in your DNA. You go out there now, you don't have to go and break your back. You just have to like work smart. And when I say work smart is you get your entire Monday to Monday calendar down for San Diego, and you know exactly what music events, what sports events take place in your city. You go to the websites and you make sure that you're there at 10:30 at night, because you are going to get surge if a sports game ends, or you know, anything like that.
That's what I did this week. I printed out all the calendars that is happening in San Diego County.
Yeah.
And I'm studying it.
Yeah,
and I'm that's from your video.
Cool. That's great. I'm very happy to hear that. But like in LA, you know, and I guess I don't go from car to car looking at, hey, you know, asking them what nationality are you. But like, I see big groups of Russian guys. I see big groups of Armenians driving around. I see a lot of, in Koreatown, Chinatown, I see a lot of guys down there driving, right? Of course, there's equally as many Americans or regular guys, but like, I guess to answer your question, you know, a lot of your people are driving black and SUV. I mean, you know, just jump in there. I think you have a good.
I don't really care about the driving part, because everybody's going to do that job. I'm talking about riding in the black SUV category.
Yeah, no, they there, absolutely.
They do, because like in San Diego County, what I've realized is I have very minimal Asian riders. Majority of them are Caucasian.
Okay, but I mean,
will take up like 70%, 75% of the market for Uber and Lyft.
Okay. But again, I don't know, if you look at the entire population of San Diego, you might have a higher concentration of Asian community in LA, right? You might have a higher, I don't know, Hispanic. You know, you have these demographic of pockets of people, right? Like in Burbank, Glendale, you have a lot of Persians, Armenians. You know, then you got LA, Chinatown. I mean, people stick together, right? So, you know, you may not have like, I don't know if there's like a little, I know there's Little Italy in San Diego. Doesn't mean that there's just all Italians, right? But I mean, there are these little communities. I know that you go into Burbank and Glendale, and every black or SUV is usually a Russian or an Armenian driver. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, it's just a commitment financially. You're paying off the car. Yes, your payments are slightly higher than a regular car, but you know, it's a category you're not gonna. It's a category, as you're promoting yourself, you get better and better and better, and you don't really get tired about in this category. And I tell you why: because the caliber of people that you meet on a week-to-week basis will blow your mind, right? You meet really, really interesting people. They all use SUV Uber. They don't mind paying, or they use black. And by the way, if you're driving black and SUV on the phone, on the passenger phone, they go over, they scroll over, they look at black, and then they scroll over to SUV. It's the same car still there. They know they order black and they get an SUV. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yes,
So,
I do.
like the smart ones, no. I'm not going to just order an SUV. I'm going to check, is that car in black on the grid? Yes, I switch over to SUV. Is it still on the same place? Great. I know that's an SUV, so I'm going to order black. I'm going to save myself 20% of that fare. You know, that's the difference between $90 and $120. I can tell you right now, you know, on a fare. So they think they're getting it. It's part of Uber's psychology and the way they market it. They want the guys to think, okay, they're getting a better deal in black. But like, you get a lot of black bookings, but the intention was actually to get an SUV, a big car.
So
you know.
which one pays more, the SUV or the black?
Oh, the SUV pays way more. Way more.
Really?
Oh, yeah. But you drive in the same category. And then you can also ask them, that you can ask your office there to do a force in. You can ask them to force in XL. So if need be, you just switch to the XL platform for a while. And I mean, man, you'll be busy. XL is insane. It's just, it's the economy version. It's more like the Toyota Sienna or the Honda Odyssey, you know, the minivan type. But you can still drive your SUV in that category. You know.
Okay.
They allow it.
Like, the truck I'm driving, like I said, I bought it for myself without thinking about driving for Rideshare.
Yeah.
It's a brand new 2016. I get to really enjoy the car, but I'm seeing like you pulling $2,500 on a weekly basis driving, you know, the different categories. I'm like, it's almost worth it for me to trade it because my monthly payment's about $800.
You on your truck.
Truck, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't make 25 every month. I tell the people I make 1,500 to 25 driving, right? Net. And then I make another 25 minimum on the referrals. You know what I mean? So,
okay.
So it's and they come in on two different platforms, because the one, we have a partner platform set up where all the drivers, like all of our drivers, which means Uber will pay us and first, and then we disperse the funds after taking out the 500 weekly lease. We take it out of their paycheck and then we disperse the funds. You know, so you're always guaranteed to get paid, because Uber pays you first as like a fleet owner or as an Uber partner. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So they come to you because they want to get paid, but you get paid first.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
it 500 weekly or 500 monthly?
Oh, the SUV, we are renting out at 500 weekly, 2,000 a month.
2,000 a month. Okay.
And we're inexpensive. Some guys are renting out Escalades here for $950 a week.
Correct. I saw one of your video mentioned that.
Yeah, which I think is suicide. I wouldn't do that. But like the price, acceptable price category for a Suburban right now is $550 to $650 a week, and people are lining up and queuing trying to get in. So that should give you a good indicator if you have people lining up and literally on a waiting list for LA to get into SUV. You know, I mean, there is money there. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. It almost seemed like the SUV and the black has just as big of a market as the Uber X.
Collectively together, it has a good margin. You will not get the trips in the same frequency. You know, you won't. But when there will be periods of waiting. But when you get the trip, you know, you're talking $30-$40 upwards. You know, I mean, that's like your starting point, because on the SUV, the minimum fare, the starting point is $25. So you drive down the street and you're already on $30. You know,
starting at $25.
Oh, 25. Yeah, look at the minimums. Just go on your phone and check out the minimums. I think on black, I think it's 15 maybe. I'm not too sure. Sorry, sneezing here. It's so windy. But yeah, we can continue. I got to run right now, but if you want to continue the conversation anytime, absolutely.
Just give me a call. I think you're more busier than I am.
Okay, perfect. All right, good. You have a good evening, okay? And I salute you over there.
I appreciate it. It was
So,
definitely a pleasure talking with you.
likewise. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
You.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
So, awesome guy. He's in the Marine Corps. You know, doing a fantastic job. He's protecting us. You've got to salute guys that do that. I was in the South African Army for 2 years, so I can relate a little bit to what he's saying. And then, he's still on top of it. This guy's a hard worker. On top of his commitment to the Marines, he's putting in another 40 hours of driving. So this guy is creme de la creme. He's up there, the top 2%, 4.91 rating. Will help him in any way I can to be successful in black SUV. I think that's where Jin wants to go. And I think he'll do well there, especially in San Diego. So that was a little story about a gentleman down in the San Diego area who is now moving from X to possibly black and SUV. Have a great night. Drive safe.